we ended up making it to the top with only a lost glove, bloody lip, and a little bit of karma. So just the day before, it's Sunday morning, we're at breakfast, and everybody is super excited because this week is our last week of camp, and we get to sign up for our final activities of camp right after breakfast. So we finish up, we clean up everything that we had to eat, and go in, and I immediately rush to the table to sign up for the hike I've been waiting for, which is Long's Peak. Now, Long's Peak is not an easy hike. It is the tallest mountain in Rocky Mountain National Park, standing at 14,229 feet. So, we rush in, I go and sign up, and I'm feeling really good. I walk back in, and I sit and I wait for everybody else to finish up sign-ups, right? So after about a minute, this kid walks out, and I've seen him around, but he's not really my friend, but I know he's a serious hiker because he has his on-the-trail patch, which means you basically just spend a lot of time at a camp. And he comes up to me, and I'm like, what does this kid want? And he's like, so I saw you signed up to go on the big hike, and he's like, if we don't make it to the top because of you, I'm gonna be pissed. And I'm like, okay, I'm from Boulder, so so this kid, he goes away, and I start thinking about what he said, and I'm like, hold up, what if he is actually right? What if we don't make it to the top, then what's gonna happen to me, So I go to bed that night thinking about that, and the next day is the hike, and I'm pretty restless because we have to wake up at 3 a.m. anyway, so I know I'm not going to get any sleep. So, the time finally comes, and we wake up, and we go down to the lodge for breakfast, and we all eat in silence. We only say what we have to, there's really no food because the delivery people forgot. And so we're all sort of now in a bad mood because we had, apples and Muddy Buddies for breakfast. So, the van arrives, and we drive to the bottom of the peak, and we get out, we start hiking, and I really want to lead the hike, but I forgot my flashlight, right? And it's 3:30, and I don't know what to do, right? So I'm super unprepared, and, we eventually make it to the Boulder field, and the Boulder field, for those of you who have hiked it, is the part of the hike when you actually have to start climbing. So you're no longer on a trail hiking, you're following little painted bullseyes on the rocks, and you are literally bouldering. So, we make it through the keyhole, which is one of the hardest parts, gets super windy, super cold, and we round the back, and we're on the ledges, which is a bunch of little, ledges, for lack of a better word. And we're going along there, and all of a sudden, one of my friends, this kid who has been encouraging us the whole hike, he drops his glove, and this glove slides about 100 feet down and lands in between two rocks. And I'm like, oh shoot, because it's freezing, and I feel so bad for this dude because it's cold and he has to hike the rest without his glove because nobody's going to go sliding down a 100-foot cliff to grab some kid's glove. So, we continue hiking, and just after a little bit, we're in the trough area, which is massive, super long. It's the worst part of the hike. And one of the other kids trips. This is the same kid who has been tormenting me the day before. And he trips, and he falls on his face on a rock, and he gets a bloody lip. And, I felt so bad for the other kid. And now this dude falls, and I'm like, hey! So, and all the counselors are like, oh, we'll get you the med kit. And he's like, I'm fine. And I'm like, ha ha ha. So, eventually we're on the final stretch of the hike, which is where you can see the top, but it takes 30 minutes to get there. So, we finally make it over, and I just collapse. I'm so happy that we made it to the top. It's we all just look at each other and we're high-fiving, and we look back down, and it's just steep, and we feel so good. It's a nice day at the top. All the wind's gone. And then I just fall asleep. There's Oreos. Everyone's like, "Hey, I want an Oreo," and I'm like, "No, I want to sleep." So yeah, I go to sleep for an hour and then I wake back up. And on the way down the hike, I realized that the moral of the story is that when you're doing something that requires a lot of effort, you can't listen to what other people have to say about you. You just have to know that you can do it, and that you'll be okay in the end, and that if some mean kid's tormenting you at your summer camp, karma's always there on your side. Thank you.